Hello everyone, it's Brett here, Lionheart84, and we're looking today, what I'm having a look at today is some fruits that I've picked off my Passiflora Caerulea hardy blue passion flower. I thought it'd be fun to have a look at these to see if they've got any seeds or flesh in them at all, and to do a taste review for you. I'm well aware that these ones are edible but not normally worth eating or considered palatable. There are some passion fruits, not the ones that obviously we are grown commercially for eating, but there are some passion fruits that contain cyanide in the fruits. Obviously the flesh of Caerulea is not one that contains cyanide, but I wouldn't eat the rind of the fruit because that may well be poisonous. Some passion fruit plants do have cyanide in various parts of the plant, as well as I think the stems, leaves and roots, but it's not likely to be one you're going to come across in this country. Nevertheless, you should be wary if you're tasting any abroad. Obviously, if they're for sale in shops as edible passion fruits, you haven't got to worry. But there are some cases where on some of them, the underripe fruits contain some cyanide as well. I mean, you'd probably have to eat a fair bit for it to be fatal, but nevertheless, it's best to be wary. But Caerulea do not contain cyanide in the flesh of the ripe fruit, so it is okay to try it, but whether or not it's edible is another matter. Now, the other reason there's two or three reasons these aren't really eaten. Firstly, they tend to be quite small fruits, although there would be some that get better plants, and quite often the fruits are either hollow or got very small quantities of seeds and flesh in, so wouldn't be considered to be worth eating compared to the commercial ones. I've got this partly for ornamental reasons, because the flowers are stunning, they're very hardy, and then they produce these sort of almost fluorescent orange fruits in a good summer where they've been pollinated properly. But I've really got the Caerulea hoping that it was going to pollinate my incarnata, and so far that hasn't been successful. So I thought I'd flip the camera around and we'd have a laugh, and I'll taste it and tell you what I think. Obviously I have tasted the flesh before, so I know what to expect, but I'll do a review for anyone interested, because people would often ask if these are edible. So let me pause the camera and flip it round. Okay, so welcome back. Hopefully you better hear me over the neighbours chatting, which I'm quite entitled to do. Don't think they've been drinking, so they shouldn't be too noisy. So we'll have a look and see if these have got any flesh in them at all. They tend to have very low quantities or none. They're quite squashy, and they don't normally go wrinkly like the purple passion fruit that you regularly buy in the supermarket, but they do have a very soft, spongy texture to the skin. So I can cut them open, or I can pull them open. Let's just cut this one for you first. It's a little bit easy to cut it first. Okay, so this one does have a very small quantity of red seeds or flesh in. Let me pull that out of the way. That's sort of typical of the quantity of flesh that they have in these. Now, one of the things about these ones is because they're not very self-fertile, you tend to get a small quantity of flesh, and also it tends to be very dry, the flesh. They're not full of juice like the purple passion flower, Passiflora Caerulea. A lot of the other ones seem to be a lot juicier. So, and the seeds are obviously in those little red parcels. See if I can show you a seed first. Easier said than done. Yeah, the seeds are very, very small. Probably won't see that. Let's see. Let's have some of this. Let's have this flesh. I'm going to do this bigger one and see if there's any more in it. again, very small quantity, not juicy. Let's eat this as well for you. There's a lot of seeds in here that never developed, that weren't pollinated, so if it was properly pollinated, probably get a lot more seeds. Now, what can I say about the flesh? It's got no real sweetness to it, but it's also got, here's another one, it's got no appreciable sweetness, but it also hasn't got that nice acidic tang that the purple passion fruit has, because the purple passion fruit is not particularly sweet, but it's got a lovely acidic sharpness to it, refreshing. These are not sweet, or at least not to my taste buds. Not sweet, got a little bit of bitterness to the seeds and flesh, not really very flavoursome. They leave a little bit of a slight aftertaste in your mouth. I mean, it's certainly not, the fact that it's a very small quantity. Let's do the last one as well. The fruits are small. Again, same small quantity of flesh in, and seeds that have not set. Edible but not really palatable. Nothing wrong with trying it. In fact, let me pause the video a second, because I've got a purple passion fruit here in the fruit bowl, and we can just open that up as a comparison. 1 minute. Okay, here we are back again. So you can see these are substantially bigger, these commercially grown ones. Just started to wrinkle. Normally they can get very wrinkly and they're still edible, but this is the size of a large hen's egg, whereas the orange ones on my Caerulea are smaller than a walnut probably. Let's cut this open. Let's open this up for you. Now this has got more flesh in it. It's actually a little bit dry. Probably left it a bit too long. You should probably eat them virtually as soon as you get them, and they've got more juice in. But the flesh is 2 or 3 times, well, several times the amount in the small one. And let's just see what this tastes like. Certainly got more juice in it. Seeds are bigger, crunchier. And this has got a slight, I would say, a hint of orange to the flavour. Forget I'm not saying that because the flesh is a little bit greeny orange, but there's a bit of a citrus twang to it. These aren't, these varieties, these purple ones, I wouldn't call them sweet, but they've got a nice tang to them, and they go very nice if you mix them with a fruit salad, or put them perhaps on ice cream, or maybe a meringue. I've had them instead of strawberries on a meringue. Passion fruit is very nice on a meringue because you've got that real sugary sweetness in the meringue mixed with the tanginess of the passion fruit. But whereas these are worth buying and eating, you'd never sell these. If you've got them in the garden and you had a large quantity, I suppose you could possibly mix them, make them into a jam possibly, or make some kind of perhaps puree with them. But I mean, apart from the fact that you might not want to waste them, they're not really worth eating. That's why they've never been grown commercially, because the flesh is edible, but that's as far as I would consider. Anyway, that was a taste on the Passiflora Caerulea fruit, which is hardy in the UK and grow outside here all year round, unless you get incredibly cold winters. And of course, there's a good chance that it will produce fruit if we get a warm summer like we have had this year, and even better if you've got a couple to cross-pollinate each other from different sources, you'd probably get bigger fruit than I've got and more flesh in. Anyway, I hope you found that of interest. Please give me a thumbs up, share the video of course, subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already, it's free, and remember to click on the bell if you would like to know when new videos come out, and I'll see you all soon. Brett out for now.